respecting your attention.
Imagine yourself walking to a place to meet with friends while texting to them, telling them that you are on your way. Meanwhile, at a gas station nearby, a person is about to leave the gas station off the exit ramp. That person was texting while driving. You're about to cross the gas station and bam! You are struck by the driver who was texting. The next sounds you hear, given you survival can still hear, are sirens of the ambulance. This accident could have been avoided if either you weren't walking while texting while walking, or if the driver wasn't texting while driving. I've had a similar experience like this 2 years ago, except I was fortunate enough that I wasn't texting as I was walking, so that I was aware of the driver who was texting. Ever since the invention of cell phones, people have been letting them take more than just their time, but their attention and their will to overcome the temptation of texting. More people need to know that texting can be helpful at times, but can also be a hindrance. I will talk about how texting can affect one's health, attention in class, walking, and driving. My purpose of this is to try to convince everyone here to start monitoring their time texting. One reason why people should start monitoring texting is it can have serious impacts on one's health. As with everything else, if done too excessively, it could lead to bodily harm. For example, you wouldn't be working on an assignment for too long or too fast on your laptop because it would hurt your wrist, your fingers, your neck, and your eyes. Also, you wouldn't be watching TV for too long because that can also hurt your eyes. So if you wouldn't be doing any of these things to such an extent, why'd you do the same with texting? Dr. Isaiah Williams, Master of Surgery, states that excessive texting symptoms include progressive first metacarpal joint arthritis, various forms of tendonitis, and musculoskeletal symptoms. Dictionary.com defines tendonitis as painful swelling and inflammation of the tendons, usually around the wrist, due to repetitive movements. That's all texting pretty much is, just repeatedly moving your thumbs around the buttons. You're overstraining your muscles around your thumb and the wrist and the tendons around your thumb, close to the wrist. Dr. Sharon, specialist in rehabilitation of musculoskeletal disorders, states that some common symptoms of tendonitis are pain in the thumb and forearm, numbness and tingling of the thenar aspect of the hand, which is that part right below the thumb. One form of tendonitis that is closely related to texting is called de Quervain's tendonitis. That's one that can easily be shown you can easily show yourself if you have it or not by following Dr. Finkelstein's test. First, you just put your thumb in between your palm, then overlap it with your other four fingers, and bend it as far as you can towards your pinky finger. You start feeling any pain around the wrist or your thumb, you could possibly have tendonitis. Another reason why people should consider monitoring texting is that it could have impacts on school. I'm probably quoting almost everyone's teacher as saying that participation plays a big role in your grade. Not only does it play a big role in the grade of the class, but it also plays a role in classroom learning. Classroom learning, as defined by Professor Way, is an active commitment or an emotional attraction to on-task behavior. How can we do this if we're texting and just getting rid of all our attention of the class and giving all our attention to our cell phones? It's not going to allow us to be able to be more committed to the class. In a sense, it just disengages us, takes away all our will to involve ourselves in the class. And therefore, it could make us lose the desire to do well and even just pay attention in the class. Texting while walking should also be looked at when considering monitoring texting. It seems to me it's become a norm in campus to walk while texting. To me, in my point of view, walking while texting is a sense that people are walking around with blinders. And seems to me that they are walking with blinders. The cell phone is their blinder. They're getting rid of their attention of what's in front of them as they're walking. They're focusing it on their phone, not being able to see oncoming poles, people, or cars. Professor of psychology Percy Goodman states that 17% of all Americans have reported bumping into other people or objects as they're texting while walking. Because the number of pedestrians, Percy Goodman recorded that the number of pedestrians who reported they were bumped into objects or people in 2008 have increased 4 times more in 2006. It's 5 years since then. And in mathematics, if it's 4 after 2 years, it's probably 8 times greater now, 5 years later. Moreover, Professor Starbinos conducted an experiment in 2011 where he compared texting pedestrians to non-cell phone using pedestrians crossing a busy street. Although pedestrians who were texting while walking did follow the rules of the road and looked both ways, they still got into accidents and near accidents more so than non-cell phone users. So it's not worth it to risk our attention of what's in front of us just for texting. You could easily walk into a pole, a person, or even a moving car. Finally, one reason why people should moderate texting, or one reason is that one thing that is overlooked, although there have been laws taken against it, driving. People who are avid texters usually would give in to the temptation even at a time when attention is crucial, driving. Pascal Ferreira states that cell phone use and texting while driving is responsible for 28% of all accidents per year, which is close to 1.6 million per year. So he also charted that some driving instances related to texting while driving include lane deviation, variances in speed, and reduced reaction time, all things that could easily cause accidents. Percy Goodman, as who I've stated before, stated that cell phone users are 4 to 30 times more likely to crash their vehicle than non-cell phone users. Is that 30% really worth it to getting into an accident just to text someone? As with walking, people overestimate their ability to multitask and greatly underestimate the chances of accidents. All the things I've stated above are obviously relevant to everyone and anyone who owns a cell phone. They're susceptible to that temptation just to push those buttons. I wish to propose some suggestions now that will help everyone here start monitoring texting. Firstly, time yourself. Do about 10 to 20 minutes or so every other hour. Give that time to texting. Or do it less if you can. That can greatly reduce the chances of having any of the health symptoms I've stated before, including tensilitis. Second, in class, I'm also quoting every single one of your teachers, keep it away from you, have it off. Don't leave it on the desk or in your pocket and have it on. During those times, the cell phone is technically calling you in a sense, pun intended. Also, while walking, if you have the urge to text someone, just sit down and chill. There's so many around campus. Just sit down and start pushing those buttons. This will definitely reduce the chance of walking into a pole, a person, or a moving car, the most dangerous. And finally, with driving, is keep it away from you. Don't put in those little cup holders right next to you, or that little cupboard that's right below the radio. I don't know what they call those things. Just have it as far away as you can, but don't lose it, and have it off. That way you could always keep it safe and keep yourself safe from accidents. I hope that everyone here takes what I say into heart and starts monitoring texting. And if anyone sees anyone who's also an avid texter and does it at times when it's inappropriate, tell them some of the things that I have said. Like everything else, texting should be done in moderation and not not be an unnecessary temptation.
I didn't have